Hi, I'm Bill Rudin, Chairman of the Real Estate Board of New York. We wanted everyone to know about an important issue that impacts the future of our city. That is the 2020 census. The census is the basis for determining how many congressional seats that we have and what our allocation is from federal funding for the city and state. A low response will have a negative impact on our city and state for decades to come. We spoke to leading experts on how to prepare New Yorkers for the 2020 census.
The 2020 census has enormous stakes for the individuals who live in New York City.
What 2020 census represents is the true empowerment of New York City, and people should stand up and be counted.
It's important to all of us to be able to get a great count, because a great count means more money for the city.
Section 8, Head Start, new roads, new schools. The more people who participate, the more money we get, the more representation we get, and the better services we get here in New York City.
We'll lose out if we don't have an accurate count.
We are really looking for a fair and accurate count. The national self-response rate for the 2010 census was 76%. For New York City, it was only 62%.
We had difficulty in Northwest Queens and in Southern Brooklyn, where the Census Bureau failed to properly account for housing units because people failed to respond. They did not respond on their own, and they did not respond when the enumerators came knocking on the doors. The Census Bureau had to use a statistical algorithm to literally create people to put into those housing units by taking other households and substituting their characteristics for the people who were missed. We're talking about 300% and 400% increases in the number of vacant housing units. We did an analysis and determined that that was erroneous. When you look at the overall picture, the groups that are frequently most in need of services are the groups that do not self-report on the decennial census, and that makes them vulnerable. How do we avoid that in 2020 has become a theme of what we're doing. We want to make sure that we maximize the number of people who respond on their own, and that is the whole purpose of having such a well-funded outreach effort this time around.
What happens in 2020 will last for the next 10 years. There are billions of dollars at stake, over $675 billion annually across the nation that gets distributed based on census data. And in New York State alone, $74 billion annually gets distributed. And we need those funds because they support vital programs. And you want to make sure that that school down the block has enough funding to fund every single student in that school. You want to make sure that all of the amenities that you need in your community to commute, to thrive, are there, and a lot of those programs are based on census funding, purely on population data.
Our goal is to at least have 80% of the population fill out census forms with a specific emphasis around the hard-to-count populations and those hard-to-count neighborhoods. We, the library system, we're uniquely positioned to reach those communities because we are trusted. We don't ask for any ID. All 217 public libraries in New York City will have special computers set up, separate Wi-Fi systems that will truly be confidential and secure, solely for people to come in and fill out the 2020 census forms.
REBNY is working with REBNY on the 2020 census. We are identifying locations throughout the city, specifically in hard-to-count communities, where individuals can go to not only fill out the census form, but ask questions and get answers that are in their language and with cultural competency.
REBNY, through our membership, can support the census. We need our members to help. Our members that have high traffic locations, near subways, near bus stops. If you have a space or can share a space for only a few months, and it only has to be one day a week if that's all you can give us, we'll figure out a way to engage with the folks that are walking by so that they can join and add to the census.
Hunter College is providing all sorts of services to support a census effort. We're translating all the information into the various languages so we can reach every community in New York. We're hosting events. We're sending interns to all the various community groups that are doing outreach for the census to get out the word and to make sure every New Yorker is counted.
We all are working together. We're all part of one team, and that one team is to make sure we reach every citizen to fill out a form.
A fair and accurate census is a key priority for the Real Estate Board of New York. We are calling on all of our members and all New Yorkers to do their part. New York is the most diverse city in the world. Let's make sure our diversity is represented in the 2020 census. We are counting on you. Thank you.